Yeah. I installed the Minikube on EC2 instance, guys. Amazon EC2 instance. Something like I pasted in the chat. What are the commands I used for this to install uh, the Minikube? You guys can follow these commands. So 1 second.
I think you
Hey guys,
can.
Hi, are you?
Okay.
yeah, yep, I'm able to hear. So this is
Yeah, I can
the
hear you.
yeah, you can hear, right? So this is the site, guys. You can install the Minikube on CentOS 7, guys. So this is the site, guys. You can use this site and you can install the Kubernetes and you can follow these commands. I already pasted in the WhatsApp group, right? So you guys can follow the commands. After that, I think there may be an issue with the after installing the Docker. So I mean, there may be an issue with this here. So if you are not getting the issue, so it will be good. So if you are getting the issue, you guys can go through the that commands and you can run it the commands. Now finally, it will be installing something like a
So for
done.
engine, I just
kubectl
uploaded
is
my
now.
engine file there, so I'm working from there.
Oh,
Can we
please,
have
please
this?
mute yourself. Oh,
Hi,
so yes,
can
yes,
we have
yes.
this? Can we have this link for the document? The particular link for the document.
I already pasted in the this WhatsApp group. I already pasted in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is the link. Okay,
Yeah, got you. Okay.
okay, yeah. So finally, something like after installing the Kubernetes Minikube, so something like done kubectl is now configured under the Minikube cluster and the default namespace by default. So it is installed. So while installing the something like a Minikube start hyphen driver Docker, then it will be installing the Minikube using the Docker driver, then starting the control plane Minikube in the cluster Minikube, pulling the base image, downloading the Kubernetes, then creating the Docker container with 2 CPU and memory. So something like definitely we needed 2 CPU, guys, 2 CPU and memory 4 GB. So preparing for the Kubernetes, generating the certificate keys, building the control plane. So in the Minikube, something like yeah. So in the Minikube, something like so what are the nodes in the cluster, guys? What are the nodes in the cluster? Very good. Yeah. So what are the nodes in the cluster, guys? Tell me. What are the nodes? For example, this is our cluster, Kubernetes cluster. What this is, guys? So this is our Kubernetes cluster.
API.
Yeah. So for example, this is the cluster. This is our cluster. So this is our Kubernetes cluster. In the Kubernetes cluster, what are there, guys? What are there? So we have a control plane. Control plane is nothing but a master node and data plane. So data plane and control plane. Control plane is nothing but so this is a master node. So this is the master node and this is the worker node, right?
What kind of?
Worker node.
Yeah.
So this is nothing but a cluster. Cluster is nothing but I already told you, right? So one master node or number of master nodes and number of worker nodes. But in the Minikube, we created only one in the minikube cluster, the minikube. So this is the minikube cluster. In the minikube cluster, we created a one node. So it act as a. So we created one node. It act as a master node as well as a worker node So this is a just mini cube. So this is the mini cube. This is the Kubernetes cluster. So in the mini cube, it acts as a worker node and a master node as a one node. It acts as a one node. One node acts as a master node and so worker node. Something like what is the command, guys? kubectl get pods or get nodes. Node is nothing but a PIC. So minikube is installed in the ready state. So it acts as a control plane as well as a worker node, data control plane as well as data node. So it acts as a control plane as well as the worker node.
It's by default, huh?
By default. So this is a minikube, not a Kubernetes cluster. So in the enterprise edition, so they are creating the master node as well as worker nodes. But in the minikube purpose, minikube is used for which purpose I already told. So minikube is used for the just a dev environment purpose. But in the enterprise level, so they created a number of worker nodes and master nodes. Something like this is a master node or a control plane or a control plane. This is a master node or a control plane. Something like these are the worker nodes. These are the worker nodes. So this is also a worker node too.
Okay, so
worker node 2. So this is the worker node 3. So something like this is the enterprise edition. Enterprise Kubernetes cluster. So this is the enterprise Kubernetes cluster. In the production, what we are doing? So we are doing a master node and the worker nodes. But in the minikube, in the dev or test environment, we are using the minikube. Minikube is for the only development environment or a test environment. So it is act as a control plane, a master node, and as a worker node. So we are created only one pod. He says something like get pods. So kubectl get pods. I already told you, right? So what is the kubectl? Kubectl is the CLI command. Kubectl is CLI command to manage the Kubernetes cluster. Right? How you can manage this Kubernetes cluster? Either kubectl. So this is the CLI, or else so we can use the UI. So UI something like, what are the UIs? RKE. I already told you, right? RKE, Ranger Kubernetes, EKS, or AKS, or Azure Kubernetes Service, or something like a GKE, Google Kubernetes engine, or something like OKE, or Oracle Kubernetes engine. So these are the UI platforms. These are the CLI. So we can connect this master and worker node by either UI or a CLI node. So now we are connecting with the CLI. So kubectl get nodes. How many nodes? Only one node is there. kubectl get nodes. Only one nodes. How you can verify the kubectl get pods? Get pods. How many pods are there? There is no pods. Just a Kubernetes minikube is created. So if you want to start the minikube, what we will do? Something like, first we create the single VM node in the Kubernetes cluster. So So something like when you use the kubectl get nodes, you will get the nodes. How many nodes are there? Only one node is there. Only one node is there. Kubernetes only one node. So it acts as a master node and master node and master node and guys tell me master node and worker node. Master node and worker node.
I know it's really.
Yeah, but are you installing it or are you installing it or you're logging in with the
Yeah.
kubectl
Yes.
get node? Which one are you doing?
You don't have to even like create.
So this
Like,
is
what-
Yeah, you don't have to
kubectl
create
is
one anymore. It's
to
right
connect
here.
that to
So,
connect
you know,
the
like during
cluster
function meeting
to connect the
discussions,
cluster.
using
For
it
example,
because,
I want to
you know,
I want to install a
need to
I want to
connect with
something
do
like
a lot to discover here.
so I
This
want
is
to
really, really cool.
I want to run a container on the minikube. I want to run a container on the worker node. Something like I want to run a container on the worker node. How we can do it? Something like we can create a create a aml. Something like a create a file called as a YAML file. What is that YAML file, guys? Pod dot YAML file. So this YAML file. So if you create this YAML file and you can use the kubectl command and you can start the pod in the worker node. So who will take care of this? API server will interact with this and scheduler will schedule this and so it will install by using the kubectl, right? Kubectl. So something like how we can install how we can run the container. So we already told you, right? What is a pod? Yeah. So pod contains a YAML file. Something like I want to create a Docker. I want to create a Docker container. How you can create by using the how you can run that container by using something like a pod.yaml. So in the pod.yaml API version, a spec. So spec is nothing but a specifications, kind. So these are the three major attributes in the pod.yaml. So what are those? Yeah. So API version is the important, then kind. So kind is nothing but a pod or a deployment. So kind. And the specification. What is the specifications? Specification is nothing but a, how many containers we need to run the pod. So something like most of the cases we will run the one container in the pod. We already told you, right? So we can run the in the pod we can run the number of containers. Most of the cases we can run the only one container in the pod. Only one container in the pod. So something like how we can create a pod.yaml. So pod.yaml. Something like this command is like a so Docker run -d. So something like what is the container? So container is image name. So what is the name of the container? Name of the container is nginx. What is the port? Port is that. So we are running the single command in the Docker, right? In the Docker. But in the Kubernetes, so we will create a one file, one YAML file. We will include all these things. We will include all these things. How you can create the no need to no need to something like learn everything. So a Kubernetes file is there, right? In the Kubernetes it will show everything. It will give the all the example, something like a nginx Kubernetes pod.yaml. uh, so Kubernetes pod yaml example nginx. So you can go to the Kubernetes, can go to the Kubernetes and you can select this, something like you can use this, you can use this. Okay, just just a small command, small. So this is a deployment. No, we don't need a deployment, just a pod. We need the pod. Yeah, you can take this. Just you can take the API version. You can take this, guys. I will post it in the here also. You guys can use this, and you can create this type of a part.aml file. Here we can create a part.aml. I think it will be easy to open user. Yeah. So here you can create a part.aml file. What is this, guys? Part. So this is the Kubernetes cheat sheet, guys. I already uploaded in that in the drive. You guys can check it. So this is the just the cheat sheet. Okay. And so now I want to create a VA part.aml. Part.aml. So in the part.aml, yeah. So API version v1 kind pod. What is we are trying to create? So you guys can remember kind, API version, and the spec. Spec is nothing but a specifications. So how many containers we are creating? We are containing only one container. Hyphen name web server. So image equal to nginx.latest. So ports container port. Name equal to web watcher. Node it of these. Just we are creating the container.
I think
Okay.
you have
So we
container
just
there already. You have
yeah.
container, two containers there.
No, two nodes are there, right? Not a containers. Nodes. Node is nothing but a EC2
Container
instances.
port, containers with image, the two
Pod is
images.
nothing but a container. Node is nothing but a same like as a EC2 instance. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the pod. So what is this pod? Pod containing API version v1. So kind equal to pod. So metadata something like a web server, or you can use nginx, only nginx you can use. For example, for our memory purpose, we are using just name as nginx. So nginx, right? So just part. So metadata name equal to nginx, container spec equal to container. So name, so something image equal to nginx latest, port equal to container port 80. So we are giving the 8080 port, guys. We are providing the 8080 port, right? Next, save this. Save this file. Cat pod.ml. Yes. So kind, metadata, spec container, name nginx, the image equal to this one, port equal to 8080. Port equal to 8080. So how you can create a container? How you can create a container? You are unable to understand the Q.
Yeah, at the beginning.
So you able to understand this one or not?
No, I was not able to
So
understand it. If
Kubernetes
you can.
cluster is installed on our EC2 instance. So this is EC2 instance. So this is EC2 instance. So this EC2 instance act as a mini cube. This EC2 instance act as a mini cube, and this is a
Okay.
mini cube. In this mini cube, so worker node and the master node as the same, because of this mini cube is something like it is for a dev1 test environment. In the
So
enterprise edition,
is default already in EC2 instance. When you are creating the EC2 instance, the mini cube and the master mode and worker node, all
yeah,
of
you
that is
install
already.
so this is you launched the EC2 instance, right?
Yeah.
You launched the EC2 instance. Then,
Mhm.
so this is your EC2 instance. In this EC2 instance, what you created you installed the minikube. So now
Okay.
this ETC instance acting as a Kubernetes cluster, minikube, Kubernetes cluster. Now you understand?
Okay. Yes.
So in this in this minikube, it is just trying to create a pod. Pod is nothing but a container. So pod is nothing but
Yeah.
a Docker in the container. You are trying to create a container in the minikube. So you see,
Yeah.
so is there any kubectl get pods? So is there any pods are there? No, there is no pods.
Mm,
Is there any
no.
nodes? Is there any node? Yes, only one node. This EC2 instance installed as a Kubernetes cluster. So this is one node. But we are trying to create a pod on the pod. We are trying to create a pod on this mini cube, on this
How do you know what?
Kubernetes
How do you
cluster.
know? Excuse me. How do you know when there is node there? Is that because of the name, the mini cube ready control plane and all that? That's one of the
Yeah,
node.
yes.
Okay.
So this is the mini cube.
Okay.
Name is the mini cube. Status is ready. So so roles as a control plane, a
Okay.
master plane, and
Okay.
it is as a master plane. Is how many days it's created? It created
Yes.
before 26 minutes ago. So what is the
Got you.
version? V1 28.3. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Now I am creating a pod. I'm creating a container inside the mini cube. How you can create the pod? So how you can create the container? So by using the if you want to create a container, we can use the pod.ml. So in the Kubernetes, we do not use the Kubernetes something like this command. We cannot use these commands, docker run -d nginx. We run right for while installing the Docker container. But in the Kubernetes, there is no commands running. Everything will be YAML files. Everything will be YAML files. Okay.
Okay.
How you can create a how you can create the pod? How you can create the pod by using the command kubectl create kubectl. This is like a Docker run. Create -f pod.aml. Let's try to create a pod. Expected indicator in the line number 7.
So did you download this API version? Did you download it there? Because this is gonna almost be the same thing when you are trying to install the Docker, which I still get stuck over there. Like, do you copy and paste this?
Yes, I just copied and paste only.
So as you copy and paste it, how do you make use of it? Because I'm still here to go back to the Docker and continue with the same process, which I'm still finding difficult because sometimes you try to run the container when you
Metadata
put it, yeah, you can't run the container.
script container is called. Yeah. One second, I will answer your question. This is in the if I see next name equal to I can see. Yeah. Ports correct. So this one is wrong. This one is wrong, guys. We want to add this to same. Yeah, now it looks good. Now looks good, right? Port image. Yep. The number 7 is a problem that we can use. Now create yeah. So something like a container, something like you in the from your perspective, a container is created with the something like a kubectl create -f pod.ml. Now you can choose kubectl get pods. You see one nginx container is running. So one is running, one pod is running. So restart 0 is equal to 20 seconds. Is equal to 20 seconds. So you will get the entire details how you can use that kubectl get pods -o wide. Yeah. So kubectl get pods. You just showing the name, ready, status, restarts, and age. But if you use the wide, you will get the name, ready status, running, restart 0 is equal to 48 seconds. You will get the IP address also. What you will get? You will get the IP address, node equal to minikube. You will get the entire details by using the get pods -wide. Get pods -wide. So something like you want to describe the parts, you want to see the entire details. kubectl describe pod ngix. Yeah, you will see. So this is the entire pod information. Name equal to nginx, namespace equal to default, priority equal to 0, service account equal to default, node equal to minikube. So start Wednesday 13 December. Something like it is a running IP address, a container. So this is the container. This is the container ID, image name, image ID, port number, and state equal to running, as status equal to true, right? So you will get entire information. You will get the entire information while using the kubectl describe kubectl get. So kubectl describe pod name. kubectl describe pod name. Yeah. So I want to connect to this. I want to connect to the minikube. How you can connect to the minikube? So now you are in the just EC2 instance. I want to connect the minikube. So kubectl get nodes. So get nodes. This is the minikube. So I want to connect to this minikube. How you can connect to the minikube? By using minikube SSH. But in the enterprise edition, so you can provide the master node IP address, then SSH, then or something like a worker node IP address, and then SSH. Now I am connecting to minikube. You see, now I am connected to minikube. Now I am connected to minikube.
Okay.
Something like I will get the IP address, right? CURL call HTTP localhost, right? IP address. What is the IP address, guys? 10 port 80, right? Yeah, you see this is the so this is a call means it will show in the this is it. Welcome to nginx. Welcome to nginx. So this is the app file. This is the page. So this is the page you are getting. This is the page
Where did you,
you are
excuse
getting.
me, Harry, where did you copy the IP address from?
Yeah. So how you can verify it in the in our Linux machine? So this is not a so call command is the something like a display the web page. Call command is nothing but a display the web page. Something like I will show
Yeah.
you. Call command. So on outer side, what you are doing? HTTP, right? HTTP : IP address, dot 80, right? While Docker we are saying. So we will get the pages here. So something like how you can verify it in our Linux, how you can verify it in your Linux mission. Call command in Linux. So what is the call command, guys? Call is a command line tool to transfer the data to or from the server using any of the supported protocol, HTTP or something like. So you can use the call option, call HTTPS. So it will show the page. It will show the page. So call is most of the basic call is typing the command followed by the URL. So this is the use of call. Yeah, it's working. Our site is
Yeah, well,
Nginx deployed the Nginx page. This is the Nginx page.
yeah.
Let's
How
check
did you
it in the
how did you
wait,
copy the
wait, one
IP
second.
address?
Yeah, I'm copying the IP address. I don't know it is exposed or not. Let's check. HTTP colon IP address. I think it is not exposed. I think it is not what it contains. It is not enabled, so that security groups is not created. But let's check it.
Oh,
So this is your app. This is your container. This is your app. Something like you want to create another one. So you want to create another pod. So you can create this. This is the just so in running the container on a Kubernetes. Or you can running the container. You can run the container by using the pod. Something like I want to. Yes, you can exit. You can exit from the minikube now. So I want to delete the pods. How you can delete kubectl get pods. Get pods? Yes. So these are the pods. What is the pod name? Nginx. How to delete the pod? kubectl, delete. Something. So first we can check the logs. Kubectl get so something like kubectl logs nginx. Yeah. So these are the so we want to see the logs. We want to see the logs in the container pod. How you can check it? You can check it through this. Here is the logs. So I want to delete the. I want to delete the container nginx container or a pod. How you can delete kubectl delete kubectl delete pod. What is the pod name, guys? Nginx. Yeah, pod is deleted. Now you can check kubectl get pods. Get pods. There is no pods, right? You can delete by using the docker rm -f container ID. But here how you can delete your container as a pod. You can delete the container by using the kubectl get pod nginx. So the pod and the pod name. For example, if it is a HTTPD or if it is a Tomcat, if it is a Node.js, if it is a database, whatever the pod you have, you can delete by using the pod. I want to apply something like I want to apply the so apply or I create both are the same. Something like I want to create it again. Yeah. So it's created. Get kubectl get pods. Yeah. Now it created. Before there is no pods, but it created the pod. Created the pod. Guys, you understood? So this is nothing but a Kubernetes installation on how you can access this Kubernetes. Okay, you guys can use this Kubernetes. Guys, understood? Yeah. How
yeah,
to
but
install
I have
the
a
one second, Paul. I will give you. I will take this. Yeah. So first you guys can install the minikube on your local machine, guys. So what you need is we need a something like we need a guys we need a 2-core CPU. How much CPU you can enter? 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM, guys. 4 GB RAM and something like a 20 GB hard disk. 20 GB hard disk you can select, guys. These three must be needed while installing the Kubernetes on your local machine. So 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM and 20 GB hard disk. Either if you are installing something like if you want to install the EC2 mission, you can take the EC2 in the EC2 AWS, you guys can take the instance type equal to T2 dot medium, guys. You can take the instance type T2 medium. You will get the two CPU and 4 GB of RAM. 4 GB of RAM. Guys, understood? While giving the hard disk, so EBS elastic block storage, then you can give the 20 GB. While creating the instance, so in the AWS, you guys can use this. You guys can use this in the AWS instance, and you guys can use this in the virtual machine, local virtual machine. Okay, guys. So this is nothing but a installation of a Minikube, and how to access and how to delete, how to get these are the Kubernetes, guys.